Hello, you're kicking off the Friday's edition of QPVN English News Bulletin with Melinchi and the deadlines. Vietnamese New Zealand Prime Ministers to a Temple of Literature complex. Theoretical and practical research on national defense reviewed. Vietnam supports disarmament and non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. During the official visit to Vietnam from February the 25th to 28th of New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, on February the 27th, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh and his New Zealand counterpart visited the Temple of Literature complex. The Temple of Literature, Vietnam's first university, was established nearly 1,000 years ago. New Zealand is one of the countries with the most developed education in the world. Over the years, education and training have remained a key pillar of the Vietnam-New Zealand relationship. The two nations signed an education engagement arrangement for the 2023-2026 period, an education cooperation agreement between the Ministry of Education and Training of Vietnam and the Ministry of Education of New Zealand. New Zealand continues to provide 30 scholarships annually for master's and doctoral programs and maintains English language training programs for Vietnamese officials. At the EduConnect education event held on February the 26th at the Foreign Trade University in Hanoi, Prime Minister Luxon announced 98 scholarships for Vietnamese students and researchers. On the morning of February the 27th in Hanoi, Chairman of the National Assembly Trần Thanh Mẫn met with New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon on the occasion of his official visit to Vietnam and his participation in the second ASEAN Future Forum. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn highlighted the continuous growth in Vietnam-New Zealand relations over the past 5 decades. He noted that the recent upgrade of bilateral ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership marks a historic milestone, opening up a new phase of deeper, more strategic and trust-based cooperation. The Vietnamese top legislator was glad to see the strong parliamentary cooperation between the two nations, which has contributed significantly to both bilateral and multilateral parliamentary forums. He affirmed that the Vietnamese National Assembly could continue to strongly support the implementation of cooperation programs and agreements between the two countries. Both leaders agreed to enhance exchanges between high-level delegations, ministries, sectors, localities, and organizations, including parliamentary committees and friendship groups. They also sought to expand cooperation in emerging fields such as climate change response, just energy transition, green economy, and climate-adaptive smart agriculture. Prime Minister Luxon reaffirmed his nation's commitment to supporting Vietnam in improving the quality of high-value agricultural exports, implementing climate change response projects, and providing English training for Vietnam's key personnel. He also encouraged stronger linkages between leading New Zealand universities and their Vietnamese counterparts to help develop a highly skilled workforce. The two sides pledged to continue working hand in hand and supporting each other at regional and international forums. On February 27th in Hanoi, the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army and the Central Theoretical Council jointly held a conference to summarize the cooperation in theoretical and practical research on national defense in 2024. General Phan Van Giang, Minister of National Defense, addressed the event. In 2024, the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army and the Central Theoretical Council collaborated to comprehensively deploy and successfully complete the assigned tasks. Speaking at the conference, General Phan Van Giang affirmed that the coordination in theoretical and practical research on national defense between the General Political Department and the Central Theoretical Council is significant, particularly in advising the party and state to build the all-people national defense and develop the military. General Phan Van Giang suggested the two agencies strengthen coordination in studying new issues arising in military practice and national defense to propose and recommend promulgating policies, guidelines, and strategies related to military work, national defense, and some areas within the assigned functions and tasks. Also at the conference, the Minister of National Defense, Chairman of the Central Theoretical Council, and Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army awarded certificates of merit to 6 collectives and 20 individuals who have been outstanding in performing their tasks over the past time. The regular briefing of the Ministry of National Defense took place on February the 27th under the chair of its Minister, General Phan Van Giang. In February, the military's regiment and combat readiness fully protected the territorial sovereignty, developed and submitted to the government for promulgation of a decree stimulating the mandate and structure of the Ministry of National Defense, directed the reorganization and establishment of the General Logistics Technical Department. General Phan Van Giang requested that in the coming time, the whole military thoroughly worked and accurately forecast situations, carry out reassessment of recruits and training with high quality, safety, and effectively implement the task of training forces to serve the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the South Liberation and National Reunification Day. On February the 27th, Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Double Minister of National Defense, presided over a conference on the preparations for the 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Financial Exchange. Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến asked relevant agencies and units to further promote the sense of responsibility for coordinating closely in the preparation work, including conducting surveys and developing detailed plans. At the same time, they need to closely coordinate with China in building plans for the event. 1025 marks the 75th anniversary of the establishment of the Vietnam-China diplomatic relations. Therefore, the 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Financial Exchange is even more crucial to the promotion of friendship and cooperation between the militaries as well as border protection forces, local authorities and people in the Vietnam-China border areas. The exchange is expected to take place this April. Since its establishment, the military medical sector has developed under the principle, the military medical service develops in line with the military's development. Nowadays, along with the maturity and modernization of the military medical troops have increasingly developed, even taking the lead in the field of international cooperation and defense diplomacy. The military medical force has become a bridge of friendship between the Vietnam People's Army and international friends, spreading the image of uncle soldiers who are humane, compassionate, and responsible in the international community, contributing to fully protecting the country early and from afar by peaceful means and enhancing Vietnam's position and prestige in the international arena. As a member of the International Committee of Military Medicine, Vietnam's military medical force has taken part in many disaster consequence relief and disease prevention and control exercises with military medical forces from other countries and has also engaged in disaster response activities. With a spirit of strong progress in medicine, many important techniques have been successfully deployed and applied by such leading military hospitals as Military Central Hospital 108, Military Hospital 103, and Military Hospital 175. They have actively carried out international cooperation activities in the fields of heart medicine, especially organ transplant. Alongside their colleagues who are tirelessly dedicating themselves to the mission of taking care of the health of officers, soldiers, and the people, Vietnamese Blue Beret military doctors in South Sudan have been overcoming numerous hardships and shortages to receive and treat local residents and peacekeepers in the conflict zone. In 6 years, 6 rotations of the Level 2 field hospital with nearly 380 military medical personnel have provided medical care for tens of thousands of patients.
We have a very cordial relationship with Vietnam Level 2. They have been always helpful. And these small initiatives in a small place like Binh Thu go a long way in maintaining the motivation and camaraderie amongst us.
Vietnam's military medical force has cooperated with military medical forces from more than 30 countries while maintaining good relations with those from traditional friendly countries and expanding cooperation with friendly forces around the world through delegation exchanges, human research training, scientific research. The achievements show that maintaining and enhancing participation in international cooperation activities on military medicine plays a crucial role in building a revolutionary, disciplined, highly skilled, and modern Vietnam People's Army, helping maintain a peaceful environment for national development and gradually enhance the image and position of the country and the Vietnam People's Army in the international arena. Coming up next, UNDP and Japan support vitalization of the Vietnam National Innovation Center. Vietnam supports disarmament and non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. On February the 27th, the United Nations Development Program in Vietnam and the Japanese Embassy in Vietnam held a stunning ceremony of exchange of notes for Japanese grant aids concerning the project for vitalizing the Vietnam National Innovation Center, aiming to strengthen the local innovation ecosystem and empower local businesses, especially startups, contributing to sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Japanese ambassador to Vietnam Ito Naoki underscored Japan has identified zero transformation and innovation among the key areas of cooperation, especially with the National Innovation Center. I believe that such collaboration with UNDP comes at a crucial time when Vietnam is prioritizing investments and breakthroughs in science, technology, and innovation to drive long-term, high-quality growth. The project will be carried out over the next 18 months with a focus on strengthening Vietnam's national innovation ecosystem by seeking to build an enabling environment by enhancing government policies, legal frameworks, access to capital, fostering skills, and promoting collaboration that will help unlock the full potential of Vietnamese startups. From February the 24th to the 26th, the high-level segment of the Conference on Disarmament was organized with the participation of UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, UN General Assembly President Philemon Yang, as well as representatives from the member states and city observers. Vietnam's delegation to the conference was led by Ambassador Mai Phan Dũng, permanent representative of Vietnam in Geneva. Speaking at the event, permanent representative of Vietnam in Geneva, Ambassador Mai Phan Dũng affirmed Vietnam's consistent stance on supporting our efforts toward disarmament and non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. Vietnam attaches importance to the Conference of Disarmament, considering it the only multilateral forum with the top significant role in global disarmament. He highlighted Vietnam's active engagement and contribution to the Conference of Disarmament and related disarmament forums and agreements, addressing the common concerns shared by member states regarding the current state of global security and the challenges facing the Conference of Disarmament. He believes that more than ever, the Conference of Disarmament needs to promote the recent progress, such as the decision to establish working groups to discuss substantive issues. Private economic sector is increasingly asserting its important role in the country's development, contributing greatly to GDP growth, export and job creation. To achieve the target of double-digit growth from 2026, the private economic sector needs to achieve a growth rate of about 11% per year. This places high demands on improving competitiveness, innovating business models, and effectively utilizing support policies from the government. Currently, Vietnam has about 940,000 IT firms, along with more than 30,000 cooperatives and over 5 million household businesses. The contribution of the private sector to the economy is extremely important, accounting for about 60% of GDP, contributing 98% of total export turnover, and creating jobs for 85% of the country's workforce. In fact, the role of the private economic sector, as well as the attention and support for it to develop as an important sector, contributing to the growth and development of the country, have yet to be commensurate with the potential and capacity of this economic sector. At the extraordinary National Assembly meeting in early February 2025, the Minister of Planning and Investment said that the government could suggest a resolution similar to Resolution 57 on the private economic sector. In addition to continuing to improve the business investment environment to increase the establishment of new firms in 2025, it is necessary to combine with macro measures such as removing and unblocking aspects of the real estate market, corporate bonds, securities to increase credit growth to be able to provide enough capital for domestic private businesses. Facing the new development requirements, the business community in general and the private businesses in particular need to further promote their role and mission in the country's socio-economic development. At the same time, relevant agencies should focus on providing institutions and creating the most favorable business environment for private enterprises to grow and develop with the country. It is the end of the Little News Bulletin. We'll watch a news again at QPVN.vn. Goodbye and see you next time.